Have you ever found yourself questioning about the meaning of life and happiness? Do you sometimes lie awake, feeling a little lost inside? Have you ever had a sleepless night, feeling empty and as if nothing makes sense? Hi, I'm Rakesh Tiada, and welcome to Theatre Essence. I'll be talking about life, happiness, and the three pillars that matters the most. On top of that, I will also be covering different dimensions of life, the priorities and challenges of life that evolves and changes with growing age. Life unfolds across multiple dimensions: career, wealth, love, struggle, urgency, inner peace, and so on. Our priorities and challenges and perspective naturally shift with age, experience, and changing circumstances. Understanding these evolving dimensions help us make more intentional choices, find balance and happiness. When we normally speak, three core aspects mostly contribute to our happy life. The first one is the health and well-being. Second one, the purpose and fulfillment. Third one, relationship and connection. So on the health, physical and mental health, including good nutrition, exercise, tests, and mindfulness, builds the energy and resilience needed to enjoy life. On the purpose and fulfillment, engaging in work, hobbies, or causes that feel meaningful gives a sense of direction, growth, and achievement. On the relationship, having close, supportive connections with family, friends, or community provides love, belonging, and emotional security. Now let's assume you have nothing, and these three core aspects aren't present in your life. Consider a scenario: you only have 1 week left in your life. Now, does these three aspects matter now? Do they refer the same? If you only have a week of life to live, then priorities shift. Instead of health and purpose, relationship becomes the first. Relationship always rises to the top. People near end of life always say what matters most is expressing love, reconciliation, forgiving, and spending time with those you care about. After relationship, then it comes the purpose that shifts from long-term goals to immediate meaning, saying what you always wanted to say, finishing something small but important, or simply being at peace with yourself. And health comes at the last. It's no longer about the length, since you only have 1 week. Now it's more about comfort, managing pain, feeling present, and experiencing small joys in the moment. A sudden and unforeseen event can completely shift your priorities and core values of happy life. This is one of life's deepest truth. Now, on a positive note, imagine you're a young adult with a long life ahead of you. What truly makes life happy then? Is it your relationship, career, wealth, power, or health? Is it your influence on others like family or friends? Or from another perspective, are we even asking the right question? Should we try to understand what life and happiness really mean? I will leave you to wonder on these questions and answers. You can explore these questions more deeply whenever you have time. To continue, you are in charge of your own emotions and actions and fully responsible for your own happiness. Focus on these three core pillars that matters the most. The first one, alignment. The second one, consistency. The third one, guided ownership. Under alignment, your action, values, and life choices match, living in harmony with what matters to you. Under consistency, maintaining steady habits, routines, and behaviors that support well being over time. And on the guided ownership, having control over your life choices and actions, taking responsibility of how you live and act. So these are the three pillars that you should focus in life. Next, let's explore a few more perspective of life that changes over time and with the growing age. So the first one is the career stages over life. Like climbing a mountain, early steps are slow and careful. Mid path is steep and challenging. Summit is perspective and sharing knowledge. So same way, in career, the base is the learning and exploration. The mid career is the growth and leadership. And the third is mentoring and legacy. So in career stages, life evolves over these three dimensions: foundation, achievements, and legacy. The second one is power, money, and age. Like a tree, youthful branches reach outward with energy. In the middle years, bear fruit, and in the late years, offer shade and guidance. So, same way, when you are young, it's more about energy and curiosity. When you are adult, it's more about earning and power. And when you are old, it's more about wisdom and moderation. So power and wealth often increases with responsibility and experience, but not always linearly. An interesting analogy in terms of time is when you are child, you don't have power, you don't have money. Youth age or the middle age, you have some power, you have money. At the late age, you have less power, you have more money. So it's a shifting dimension with time. The third one is the expression of love. Love is like a firewood. Love is like a firewood. Small sparks ignite the warmth. The touch feeds the flame. And romance is the radiant glow. Compared to human life, the early stage is the eye contact. And in the middle, it's more about personal touch and feeling. And on the tip, it's more about romance. So love evolves from eye contact towards personal touch and feeling, and eventually romance. Another interesting perspective in expression of love is the gap in the generational differences. The Gen Z generation have no feeling about eye contact and personal touch. These are small necessities. They directly start from romance. Living together before marriage is common these days. Living together is more common in Gen Z generation compared to the old generation. Fourth one is the struggle of life. Life struggle is like a river. It constantly flows, but it requires navigating through rocks and currents, which makes loud noise. At the downstream, it is more soft and silent. Compared to human, the early adulthood is more about saving and securing. The midlife is more about supporting family and paying loans. And later, it's more about maintaining security. So life struggles often focus on housing and financial stability. An interesting perspective on struggle of life for Gen Z generation is that the inflation of money and the generational gap between poor and rich has been growing very wide and steep. So to provide housing and financial stability, it's much harder in Gen Z generation. The fifth one is the urgency of life. Life is like gardening. You wish for instant flowers, but it constantly requires patience and consistent caring and watering. Compared to human, the early years is more about ambition with high energy. In midlife, it's more about workloads, and in later years, the urgency of priorities becomes clear and you focus more on meaningful choices. So human wants more with less effort, but life requires consistent effort and time. This is especially true for the Gen Z generation. They need everything quicker and faster. The sixth one is the personal growth and learning. Personal growth is like growing tree. The root represents knowledge, the trunk represents the skills, and the branches symbolize wisdom and contribution. Compared to human life, the early life is about exploring different fields and learning foundational skills. The midlife is more about specialization and mastery, and the later life is more about mentoring and wisdom. Intellectual and emotional development evolves across life. In terms of Gen Z generation, the educational system that was developed several decades ago is no longer relevant, and it needs to change and evolve with the changing pace of technology and evolution in the artificial intelligence and robotic fields. So education system needs drastic change. The seventh one and the last one is spirituality and inner peace. Spiritual growth is like a flowing river that flow towards the ocean. The journey gradually leads to clarity and inner calm. Compared to human, the early life is more about questioning and seeking. In the midlife, it's more about reflection and alignment. And in later life, it's more about acceptance and calmness. Understanding purpose, values, and meaning becomes more prominent with age. I hope you like the contents and the insights that I shared today regarding life, happiness, and the three pillars for better life. Kindly subscribe to Tata Essence and thank you. Stay safe.